A 5-year-old boy, Su Junling, was locked in a dog cage and subjected to relentless insults. Because he was half human, half demon, his own mother despised and neglected him. Today, however, her mother's attitude towards him took a 180-degree turn. A woman woke up in a daze. She opened her eyes to see a group of handsome men flirting with her. Wow. Is this something I can watch without paying? Just as she was enjoying the view, a middle-aged man rushed up behind her, calling her young Mississippi. Confused, she wondered, "Young miss? What's my name?" The man, her butler, informed her that she was Su Yitong, the legitimate daughter of the great general of the Tiandu kingdom. She had previously fallen into a coma, and a shaman had declared that she had excessive yin energy and needed the yang energy of these virile men to regain consciousness. Su Yitong was stunned. Wasn't this the plot of the novel she had been relentlessly mocking just yesterday? She had transmigrated into the book, although she shared the same name. The Su Yitong in the book was terrible and treated her 5-year-old son, Su Junling, very poorly. Ironically, she had become the character she hated the most in the book, a short-lived cannon fodder character destined to live for only a year at most. She wailed in despair. She didn't want to transmigrate, didn't want to die. She just wanted to go back to her air conditioning, video games, and cat. Just then, a system notification popped up, "LiveWell prevents Su Junling's descent into darkness." As Su Yitong processed this, the system issued another warning. If she failed the mission, she would be trapped forever in the book, doomed to die as cannon fodder. Alarmed, Su Yitong immediately asked her servants, "Has the 5th prince been here?" The butler confirmed his arrival, adding that the general was likely entertaining him in the front hall. Su Yitong quickly dismissed everyone, dressed, and prepared to leave. She remembered this part of the plot. In the original story, after Su Yitong fell into a coma, the shaman prescribed men to dispel the yin energy. However, the 5th prince happened upon this scene and, assuming she was engaging in debauchery, further tarnished her already poor reputation. More importantly, the 5th prince and his entourage would encounter Su Junling, and they would bully him, breaking one of his legs, contributing to his eventual descent into darkness. Meanwhile, the 5th prince, Xin Yuan Yi, was arrogantly berating a small boy locked in a dog cage. "You damned little bastard. You dare to resist? You'll either kneel and kowtow to apologize, or I'll break your leg." The boy in the cage growled like a wild animal. The onlookers joined in the abuse. "Little beast, hurry up and kowtow to the 5th prince and beg for forgiveness. Otherwise, no one will save you. Everyone knows your mother never cares whether you live or die." The little boy froze for a few seconds, his small face full of defiance. He shouted, "I won't kneel." His words were met with a burst of laughter. Seeing his stubbornness, the 5th prince decided to teach him a lesson. He ordered his men, "Break his leg. If he won't kneel, make him kneel." They reached out to drag the boy out. "Stop!" Su Yitong arrived, breathless. Su Junling stared blankly at her sudden appearance. "Mother," he called out hesitantly, afraid of angering her. Su Yitong looked down at the tiny boy, noticing the strange dark aura surrounding him. She crouched down and reached out to touch him. Su Junling instinctively flinched, thinking, "Mother already dislikes me. Seeing me causing trouble will only make her hate me more." To his surprise, Su Yitong's face was filled with distress. "Oh dear, you're so dirty," she murmured. Su Junling, expecting to be scolded, widened his eyes. His mother was actually touching his face. The interrupted 5th prince was displeased at Su Yitong. "What are you doing here? Aren't all those men enough for you?" Su Yitong didn't indulge him. "Why are you being so sarcastic? Are you jealous that I'm with other men?" The 5th prince was momentarily speechless. He remembered that in the book, Su Yitong and he had been betrothed. Later, after Su Yitong was schemed against and crippled, their engagement was broken off. He scoffed, "Someone like you, a slut who'll sleep with anyone, you're not worthy of me." Before he could finish, a small figure darted forward. Su Junling bit his arm. The 5-year-old boy, locked in a dog cage, had endured endless torment. Simply because he was half demon, in the eyes of others, he wasn't even as good as an animal. His own mother had ignored him completely. But today, his mother stood up for him. The 5th prince called Su Yitong a slut. Hearing his mother insulted, Su Junling bit the 5th prince's arm. "You damned little bastard. You dare buy me again?" Su Junling was flung aside. Su Yitong rushed forward to help him up. "Is this little guy defending me? Just because Xin Yuan insulted me?" Su Junling glared at the group opposite them, his teeth gritted. Xian Yuan, he was furious. Someone, kill this bastard. What are you all standing around for? Seize this little beast. I'll skin him alive. I dare you to touch him. Su Yitong shielded Su Junling behind her. Fifth Prince Xian Yuan, he looked at the person blocking him in disbelief. His small mind was shaken at this moment. Is mother protecting me? She seems different from usual. Xian Yuan, he was furious. Su Yitong, if you speak up for this little bastard today, don't blame me for being ruthless. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw a large dog lunging towards him. Xian Yuan, he was so scared he wet himself. The large dog charged forward, and Su Yitong, who was afraid of dogs, worried about getting caught in the crossfire, decided to run away. Turning around, she bumped into a wall of flesh. Su Yitong clutched her nose in pain. Just as she was about to apologize, the large dog suddenly appeared behind her, startling her. She fell forward onto the wall of flesh. The expected pain didn't come. Su Yitong felt something soft cushioning her fall. Not only was it not painful, but it was also warm. Warm lips. She opened her eyes and found her lips pressed against the man's face. And this man was incredibly handsome. For a moment, Su Yitong was stunned. Reacting, she quickly struggled to sit up, her hand accidentally brushing against something soft in her haste. Soft, Su Yitong couldn't help but think. This man's physique is quite impressive. The man's whole body tensed. Touched enough? He gritted out. When Su Yitong fell on the man, everyone's eyes were on them. Su Yitong accidentally blurted out the truth. I didn't mean to do that. I just didn't expect you to be so well-built. She even patted his chest twice. The man was about to explode. Su Yitong, let go of me. Su Yitong immediately released him. She was about to explain that she hadn't meant to molest him when a shout came from the distance. Tang Tang, what are you doing? Both of them turned to look. Su Yitong's father, Su Jinxiong, pulled his daughter up and shielded her behind him. Tang Tang, was it Bai Li Xianyi? Did this brat force you to do anything? He pointed at Bai Li Xianyi, his words sharp, disgusting. This is truly disgusting. Stay away from him. Getting close to the Bai Li family will bring misfortune. And this handsome man, named Bai Li Xianyi, was the capital's eldest young master, and also the male lead of the book. Su Yitong never expected him to be Bai Li Xianyi. She secretly glanced at the man's face. As expected, it was dark and stormy. Having been pounced on by his sworn enemy, Bai Li Xianyi probably wanted to kill her. Su Jinxiong was full of hostility towards Bai Li Xianyi. What are you looking at? Just then, the sounds of barking and yelping came from the side, attracting their attention. Su Yitong snorted. Still biting, huh? Serves him right. But why was the dog only chasing him? However, all of this was the work of the little boy beside her. When Su Junling was thrown aside, he had secretly sprinkled powder on Fifth Prince Xian Yuan. Su Junling's lips curled up. Good. The powder I sprinkled is working. Su Yitong watched the little boy's ears twitch, understanding dawning on her. So is this little guy. A 5-year-old child, yet so cunning. Just because the fifth prince insulted his mother. He had lured the dog to chase and bite him. The fifth prince was eventually carried away on a stretcher. Bai Li Xianyi looked at Su Yitong's complacent expression. Doesn't she adore the fifth prince? Why isn't she worried or anxious? She even looks a little gleeful. Bai Li Xianyi, why are you looking at my daughter? Su Jinxiong saw Bai Li Xianyi staring at his precious daughter with a fierce expression. And who allowed you to come to my house? Leave now. Bai Li Xianyi remained unfazed. General Su, it was your daughter who threw herself at me. Su Yitong guiltily avoided his gaze. Su Jinxiong completely disbelieved him. Nonsense. I know my daughter best. She wouldn't have any interest in a brat like you. Bai Li Xianyi leaned closer. Yes, that's so. He approached Su Yitong. Miss Su, if you weren't interested, why did you touch me? Multiple times, even. Su Yitong's face flushed. She really hadn't meant to do it. She regretted her actions deeply, but she couldn't lose face in front of her enemy. She put her hands on her hips. I admit, you're somewhat good-looking, but you're not my type. If you think I was touching you, then you can touch me back. Su Jinxiong supported his daughter. That's right. Just touch her back. He immediately realized his mistake and covered his daughter's mouth. Oh, Tang Tang, what are you saying? How can you let this Bai Li brat take advantage of you? Su Jinxiong yelled. Bai Li brat, don't worry. The Su family won't take advantage of you. I'll have someone send 1,000 taels to your residence. Consider it a reward. That's not necessary. Bai Li Xianyi's face darkened at these words. The Su family was truly the bane of his existence. Su Yitong, standing to the side, secretly admired her father. When it came down to it, the original Su Yitong's father was quite something. After the matter was settled, Su Yitong turned to look at the little boy. His small figure stood by the dog cage, staring intently at Su Yitong with a cautious look in his eyes. Su Yitong crouched down and carefully observed the little villain. Ever since a moment ago, he'd been radiating a dark aura, are you all right? Su Yitong asked him with a concerned expression. Su Junling, the little tyke, widened his eyes, unsure if his mother was actually talking to him. He had assumed his mother would ignore him, as usual. But was she actually concerned about him now? Seeing him silent, Su Yitong asked again, Su Junling, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Mother is really talking to me. Su Junling looked at Su Yitong excitedly, but covered in dirt, he didn't dare approach her. He hung his head. Mother, I'm sorry. I spilled your medicine. Punish me. Su Yitong recalled this part of the novel's plot. Su Junling had brewed medicine for her while she was unconscious. Xian Yuan, he had knocked it over when he was delivering it. That's why he bit Xian Yuan. Thinking of this, she clenched her fists in anger. That was medicine Su Junling had painstakingly brewed, yet they treated it so carelessly. At the same time, she felt pity for the little boy. Even though his mother had never loved him, he was still so unreservedly devoted. Seeing Su Yitong silent, Su Junling thought he had angered his mother again. Su Junling looked up hesitantly. Su Yitong opened her arms. Come here. Su Junling resisted that I'm very dirty. Seeing his refusal, Su Yitong understood. After all, the original Su Yitong had treated him so poorly. Her sudden concern must be unsettling for him. It was better to take things slowly. However, the little boy before her was not only thinly dressed, but his ears were bleeding and his hands were frostbitten. Su Junling looked up and cautiously called out, Mother. Having never experienced a mother's love, he assumed she would leave as usual. Unexpectedly, his mother was exceptionally gentle towards him today, leaving him somewhat overwhelmed. Su Yitong saw the boy covered in injuries, so she instructed a servant to find a physician. The butler said, Young miss, someone of his lowly status doesn't need a physician, does he? Su Yitong glared at him. Just go. So much needless talk. Looking back at the little boy, she saw he had been startled. Su Yitong followed Su Junling to a remote corner of the general's manor. I asked this where you usually live. Even the livestock in the general's manor probably lived better than him. Su Junling nodded. This was the first time his mother had spoken to him so much. He hurried to bring over a dilapidated stool. Wait a moment. Just a moment. He wiped the stool repeatedly with a cloth. Watching his eager-to-please manner, Su Yitong felt a pang of emotion. This child's cautiousness was heartbreaking. Su Junling placed the wiped stool in front of her. He didn't dare approach. Mother, I've cleaned it. You can sit. Seeing his cautious demeanor, Su Yitong told Su Junling to move to her courtyard. Don't live here anymore. Behind her, the butler anxiously cried out, Young miss, no? Absolutely not. Su Junling quietly retreated. Young miss, have you forgotten who ruined your martial arts and caused your engagement to be broken off? He pointed at Su Junling. He's an unlucky omen, a jinx. Having read the novel, Su Yitong knew this wasn't the child's fault. The original Su Yitong's martial arts and reputation were ruined because she was deliberately framed. And this child, while she was pregnant, had absorbed the toxins in her body, saving her life. Otherwise, the original Su Yitong would have died long ago. Su Junling didn't want to make things difficult for his mother. He put on a brave face. Mother, I'm fine living here. I'm already very happy that you talked to me today. The more understanding he was, the worse Su Yitong felt. She insisted that Su Junling move to the courtyard and live with her. After arriving at the courtyard with his mother, Su Junling's wide eyes were filled with shock and curiosity that mother's house is so spacious and beautiful. Su Yitong stopped in front of the guest rooms and told him to choose one he liked. Mother, I'm dirty and ragged. Su Junling felt like he was dreaming. His eyes were full of excitement. Can I really live here? Su Yitong gently stroked his small head. Of course. At that moment, a maid came in and said there was a letter for her. The letter said her master had urgent business and wanted to see her. Su Yitong remembered she did have an apprentice. The book mentioned he had extraordinary talent, comparable to Gu Qi's, but didn't specify who he was. He was shrouded in mystery. The system popped up a side quest, meet with your apprentice. Su Yitong asked what the reward was for completing the side quest. The system replied, teaching your apprentice martial arts will provide an opportunity to lessen Su Junling's descent into darkness. It seemed this mysterious apprentice was somewhat useful. She instructed the butler to have the physician treat Su Junling's wounds, bathe him, and give him a change of clothes. Then she left to complete the quest. Su Junling stared longingly at Su Yitong's retreating figure. When will mother come back? I really want to be with her. Soon after, the physician arrived. The physician saw a cute 4 or 5-year-old child. I just saw the child's fox ears twitching. I'm instantly furious. I feel humiliated. Butler Zhang, are you mocking me? He's just a low-born, mixed-breed thing. He doesn't deserve my attention. The butler sighed and said it was Miss Su Yitong's order. Su Junling secretly covered his ears with his cloak. I won't treat this lowborn creature. Such a lowly thing should just die from its illness. Physician Lu grumbled and left. The butler didn't care. He ordered the maid, Suizhu, to bathe him. Don't let his filth and ugliness offend Miss Su Yitong. Don't blame Suizhu for her disdain. She considered herself Miss Su Yitong's personal maid and believed she understood her mistress's intentions. How could she sincerely bring him near the courtyard? A lowly half-human, half-demon thing. Remember, in Tindu Kingdom, half-demons like you are worse than animals. You still expect us to bathe you? You're dreaming. Suizhu smiled sinisterly. How could we disobey Miss Su Yitong's orders? Just because he's the child of a human and a demon. He was thrown into the icy lake by the maids and suffered terribly. Su Yitong originally intended for the servants to give the little boy a bath, but the servants misunderstood. How could Miss Su Yitong treat him so well? They thought he was lowly. They believed Miss Su Yitong just wanted to teach him a lesson. Su Junling was grabbed roughly. Look how filthy you are. We'll take you for a good wash. Suizhu dragged Su Junling towards the lake. Su Junling was terrified. He pleaded, I don't need a bath. I don't want to bathe. Please, I beg you. Suizhu snapped, shut up. Throw him in and wash him clean. Don't let Miss Su Yitong be upset when she returns. Several maids lifted Su Junling together. Su Junling was mercilessly thrown into the water. Why? Mother, why did you lie to me? He had been so happy to be able to live with his mother. Now he understood. His mother still hated him as always. Bringing him to the courtyard was just to show him that some things weren't meant for someone of his status. His tears fell into the icy lake water. It was the middle of winter, and the lake was bitterly cold. Meanwhile, Su Yitong was searching for her apprentice in the back mountains. She unexpectedly discovered a snow-white fox in the grass. Su Yitong was instantly charmed. If that were a puppy, it would be incredibly beautiful. It also seemed completely harmless as well-behaved. Hearing the sound, the white fox slowly opened its eyes. In the blur, it saw Su Yitong's face, a face that irritated him greatly. Su Yitong, why was she here? The injured by Li Xianyi reverted to his original fox form, had the misfortune of running into his nemesis. And to make matters worse, this woman's hands were all over him. Bai Li Xianyi snarled in frustration. Su Yitong, however, seemed to enjoy petting him and picked him up as so soft and smooth. So nice to touch. Bai Li Xianyi tensed instantly. Su Yitong, get your hands off me. Su Yitong only heard chirping fox sounds. She put the fox down, puzzled. The little fox continued to chirp angrily. Bai Li Xianyi suddenly felt something was wrong, that I'm clearly speaking human language. Why is it a fox's voice? Could it be that after being injured, I've reverted back to my fox form? Su Yitong lifted his chin, that you're still alive. I almost thought you were dead. Bai Li Xianyi stared at her coldly. Su Yitong found him amusing. Such a haughty little thing. Are you trying to freeze me with that look? Bai Li Xianyi struggled against her touch. Su Yitong, you have some nerve. Su Yitong continued to rub and squeeze him. Don't worry. I won't bully a little puppy. After all, puppies are man's best friend. Bai Li Xianyi was about to explode. Chirp, chirp, chirp. I'm a fox, not a dog. Su Yitong finally realized the sounds were ODD. It seems you really aren't a dog. You're a fox. How silly of me. Su Yitong held up the fox, examining him. Foxes are such cunning creatures. Bai Li Xianyi glared at the woman, practically wanting to strangle her. Su Yitong was quite taken with the little fox. Well, since you're so pretty, I'll be kind and save your life. She picked up Bai Li Xianyi. Your injuries are too severe. Come home with me for now. Bai Li Xianyi was held tightly in Su Yitong's arms. Though he desperately wanted to struggle and escape, his severe injuries forced him to endure her handling. Bai Li Xianyi noticed his head was very close to her chest. His fox ears flushed involuntarily. Look away, look away. Su Yitong had another reason for bringing the fox home. Her son, Su Junling. Such a cute little animal might awaken his compassion and kindness, lessening his potential for darkness. Held in Su Yitong's arms, Bai Li Xianyi inhaled her scent. The woman smelled rather pleasant. He felt his eyelids growing heavy. Su Yitong waited in the back mountains with the fox for a long time, but her apprentice never appeared. She decided to give up and return home. Back at the manor, Su Junling was nowhere to be found. The maids, sensing the low pressure emanating from her, trembled in fear. Young miss, wasn't the lesson you wanted to teach him to discourage him from entering the inner courtyard? Yes, young Mississippi. You led him into the inner courtyard, so he could see the difference between himself and your precious fish mud, right? Su Yitong was practically dying of frustration with these foolish servants. Your comprehension skills are truly top-notch. Where's Su Junling now? The little boy had been thrown into the lake by the maids and tormented by the monstrous carp. By the time Su Yitong returned, Su Junling was nowhere to be seen. She was furious. The maids trembled as they explained that Su Junling had been thrown out of the inner courtyard and had presumably returned to his own quarters. Meanwhile, Su Junling was curled up in a corner of his dilapidated little hut, a small, thin, and frail figure, dripping wet and dejected. He buried his face in his knees, tears streaming down his face as if they would never stop. Su Junling, Su Yitong, feeling a mix of frustration and concern, arrived breathlessly. Hearing his mother's voice, the little boy abruptly looked up. Then he silently pulled his cloak over his head, covering his ears, and glanced at Su Yitong. "Mother!" His innocent gaze held not a trace of impurity. At the same time, a thick, dark mist swirled around his small body. Su Yitong asked the system what the mist was and why it sometimes appeared and sometimes didn't. The system explained that the black mist represented Su Junling's current mood. Su Yitong felt a headache coming on. She had intended to lessen his darkness, but after this trip, it seemed to have intensified. She looked down at Su Junling. The little boy, his eyes darting nervously under his cloak, curled up even tighter. Su Yitong crouched down, setting the fox down, and softly called his name, Su Junling. "Mother, I know I shouldn't have gone to the inner courtyard." Su Junling's ears drooped. His small voice was filled with caution and sadness that I won't make you angry again. He didn't understand why his mother had come back to find him. Hearing this, Su Yitong felt a pang of guilt. What was she to do? Not only had she not met her disciple, but the little boy's darkness was growing. Softening her voice, she reached out to him. "Little one, your clothes are all wet. Let's get you a bath and some clean clothes, all right?" At the mention of a bath, Su Junling flinched, remembering the afternoon when the maids had pushed him into the water. He resisted, saying no, thank you. They'll dry soon. Tears welled up in his eyes again. Su Yitong, seeing his strong reaction to her touch, realized he must have been bullied. She needed to gain his trust before she could repair their relationship. Su Yitong stood up. "Little one, wait here for me. I'll be right back." Su Junling watched as Su Yitong walked away. "Mother is leaving again. It's good that she's gone. At least she won't be annoyed by seeing me." Then he noticed the sleeping fox beside him. He saw the wound on the fox's hind leg. "Little fox, are you hurt? Do you not have a mother or father?" He frowned slightly. "Poor thing. You're even more pitiful than me. Even though mother doesn't like me at all, at least I have her." Su Yitong returned shortly after. She saw the little boy gently covering the fox with a blanket to keep it warm. Seeing this heartwarming scene, Su Yitong felt a surge of warmth. It seemed pets really could awaken a child's compassion. A maid approached, carrying a bucket of water. "Young miss, the hot water is ready." Su Yitong bent down, her voice gentle. "Wearing wet clothes for too long will make you sick. Take your clothes off, and let's have a nice warm bath, okay?" Su Junling looked at the bucket of water. "Mother wants me to bathe? Is she afraid I'll get her sick?" "Mother really does despise me." His fox ears drooped sadly. A veil of sadness covered his delicate face. Seeing him silent, Su Yitong asked, "Little one, do you need me to help you?" Su Junling huddled in the corner, trembling. "Mother, can I please not bathe?" "No, you can't. You'll get sick." Although reluctant, Su Junling knew he couldn't disobey his mother's orders. Otherwise, she would be unhappy. As he undressed and climbed into the wooden tub, he froze. It was hot water. The little boy experienced the comfort of a hot bath for the first time. For as long as he could remember, he had never had a hot bath. Because of his lowly status, hot water was a luxury he couldn't afford. Today, however, his mother had personally prepared hot water for him. The warm water enveloped him, and Su Junling closed his eyes in contentment. Su Yitong reached out to help him wash, but Su Junling quickly pulled back. "Please don't, mother." Su Yitong didn't understand his strong reaction. Su Junling, gripping the sides of the tub, said earnestly, "Men and women shouldn't touch each other." Su Yitong chuckled, pinching his little nose. "Where'd you learn that? You're my son. What is there I can't see?" Su Junling covered his nose and looked at his mother. It was the first time she had smiled at him like that. Mother looked so beautiful when she smiled. He couldn't help but scoot closer to her, his tail wagging happily. Mother was the most beautiful person in the world. It was then that Su Yitong noticed his tail. Seeing this, Su Junling panicked. He quickly hid his slightly patchy furred tail. "Mother, I'm sorry, I accidentally showed my tail." He hung his little head, his face full of chagrin. "Mother doesn't like that I have Yao blood and characteristics. I must hide my ears and tail properly. If I pull out this fur, it won't be so obvious." Su Yitong bent down to comfort the little boy. "This is what makes you special. Others wish they had a tail. Don't pull out the fur anymore. Let your tail be beautiful, okay? Just then, the butler arrived with Yao Xiang. Su Junling misunderstood Su Yitang's meaning. He frowned and looked at his tail. Mother wants my tail to be pretty. Mother thinks my tail is ugly now. Su Yitang rummaged through the medicine box. Little one, come here. Your ear is injured. Let me treat it. Having finished his bath and dressed, Su Junling was still unsure. Mother, these medicines are very precious. It's a waste to use them on me. Su Yitang pulled Su Junling closer. I am my heart. No medicine is more precious than your injury. At this moment, Su Junling felt his heart pound heavily, his face flushing slightly. He felt like he was dreaming. It felt so unreal. Mother said he was the most important. This left the little boy stunned. But Mother never cared for him or paid attention to him before. While Su Junling was lost in thought, Su Yitang had already applied the ointment to the wound on his ear. Feeling the sting, Su Junling snapped back. Does it hurt? Su Junling shook his head. Although it hurt a lot, he was already used to enduring pain. Su Yitang leaned closer to Su Junling, gently blowing on his ear. Mother will blow on it for you. Blow, blow, and it won't hurt anymore. She then gently patted the little boy's head. Su Junling felt a surge of emotion. Mother was so gentle today, and after Mother blew on it, it really didn't hurt anymore. Su Yitang told Su Junling to leave the ointment on and not touch it. Su Junling obediently agreed, his tail wagging back and forth. After tending to the little boy, she noticed the sleeping fox in the basket. She almost forgot to treat the little fox's injuries. She picked up the fox and began to apply medicine. Sleeping by Li Xian, Yi felt a strange sensation on his body. Someone was touching his leg. Who was so audacious? Bai Li Xianyi angrily opened his eyes, wanting to see who this fearless person was. It was Su Yitang again. Why was this nemesis everywhere? Then he remembered he was injured and in his fox form. It was Su Yitang who had brought him back. Su Yitang stared at the fox's wound, frowning. This wound is quite deep. It's best to shave the fur around it before treating it. Bai Li Xianyi panicked. If his fur was shaved, wouldn't his hair fall out when he returned to human form? No, absolutely not. Already seriously injured, he kicked out with his uninjured hind leg, leaping from the basket to protect his hair. Su Yitang was taken aback. Oh, so you understand me? Little thing, you're reacting so strongly. Don't you want to be shaved? Bai Li Xianyi nodded. Su Yitang chuckled. Bai Li Xianyi continued to glare, not understanding what she found so amusing. He swiped his paw, knocking the scissors from Su Yitang's hand. Absolutely not. Seeing his resolve, Su Yitang didn't force him. All right, if you don't want to be shaved, then you won't be. You're so handsome. Shaving would ruin your looks. But the wound needs to be cleaned before it scabs over. She scooped up the fox and tossed him into a bucket of water. It was a completely unexpected move. Su Yitang proceeded to scrub and wash the fox. Bai Li Xian, Yi felt Su Yitang's hands moving back and forth over his hind legs. Hey, where are you touching? Stop it. At this moment, he just wanted to escape. Su Yitang, seeing the fox struggling, thought she had hurt him. She softened her touch. Little thing, did I hurt you? Be good. It will be over soon. Bai Li Xianyi felt like he was being thoroughly manhandled. The sensation made him tense all over. Unable to escape, he could only endure it silently. Su Junling watched his mother intently. A mere pet was receiving the same gentleness as him. This meant he wasn't that important to Mother after all. Soon, Su Yitang lifted the clean fox. This fox's fur is so smooth like silk. Bai Li Xian, Yi continued to glare. Su Yitang held up the fox. Little thing, I'm saving you. You're not grateful, and you're glaring at me. This look, it's familiar somehow. She remembered the novel mentioning that by Li Xian, Yi wasn't entirely human, but a mix of human and demon. He could even transform into a fox. Could this be him? By accidentally picking up an injured white fox, she had unknowingly sparked jealousy in her little boy. As a mother, Su Yitang was completely oblivious. After cleaning the fox, she held him up, looking at his hostile gaze. Why does this look so much like that nemesis of mine? Bai Li Xian, yes. But then she thought again. There are thousands of foxes in the world. It couldn't be this much of a coincidence, could it? Thinking back to the original Su Yitang, she had no interaction with the nonsensical Bai Li Xianyi. Besides, she was just a cannon fodder female supporting character. Even if the male lead was injured, it wouldn't be her turn to save him. After this wave of self-analysis, Su Yitang relaxed. He definitely wasn't the male lead. She put the fox down. Bai Li Xianyi stared at her, wondering what she was going to do next. The next second, Su Yitang pulled his leg open. Bai Li Xian, his whole body stiffened. He was forced to have medicine applied in this extremely awkward position. Feeling the woman's touch on him, Bai Li Xianye's ears turned completely red. Did this woman have no sense of propriety? While Su Yitong was treating the little fox's injuries, the little milk dumpling, Su Junling, took in the whole scene. Deep within his watery eyes, there was a deep sense of inferiority and negativity. Am I just like a pet to mother? Her conscious concern for me is probably just a whim. Even a pet gets to use golden sore ointment. Maybe I'm not even as good as a pet to mother. Lost in thought, he looked up and saw his mother holding the fox in her arms. His small hands unconsciously clenched. Mother hugged the pet, but didn't hug me. He simultaneously started to resent the fox. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't doubt Mother's love for me. Su Yitong held the fox out to the little dumpling. Junling, do you like this fox? Su Junling silently hid his dark thoughts. The surrounding dark aura dissipated. Su Junling nodded, smiling innocently that I like it. Su Yitong thought that letting Su Junling interact with a small animal might stimulate his kindness and empathy. So, she let Su Junling take care of the little fox. Su Junling obediently agreed. Okay, mother. His eyes, however, were fixed on the little fox. Bai Li Xian, Yi always felt that the way this child looked at him wasn't as innocent as he appeared. Su Yitong, oblivious, patted Su Junling's head. Good boy. You have to take good care of him. Bai Li Xian Yi couldn't believe that Su Yitong was actually leaving him, a seriously injured fox, in the care of a 5-year-old child. As expected, this woman, Su Yitong, is as stupid as the rumors say. Su Yitong asked Su Junling again if he wanted to move to the other courtyard and live with her. Su Junling resisted, saying he was used to living here. Seeing this, Su Yitong thought she couldn't be too hasty. She had to take it one step at a time. After all, she had just hurt him and couldn't gain his trust immediately. Late at night, Bai Li Xianyi was sleeping soundly in Su Junling's arms. Su Junling suddenly spoke. Why are you competing with me for Mother's attention? Why would Mother rather hug you than me? You picked up the fox, even though you're pitiful. He then threw him hard onto the floor. You shouldn't try to steal Mother's affection from me. Bai Li Xianyi, pained from the fall, frowned. This little dumpling is really vicious. Is he trying to kill me? Su Junling crouched down and looked at the fox. If you were gone, Mother wouldn't hug you, and you wouldn't steal Mother's care from me. His eyes gradually darkened. The surrounding black aura quietly emerged. Little fox, I want you to disappear forever. What should I do? Bai Li Xianyi was startled. Chirp, kid, what are you planning? Su Junling stood up. Bai Li Xianyi looked at his expression. This little dumpling is truly a white-coated black little devil. He appears innocent, harmless, and naive on the surface, but his heart is darker than anyone's. But he didn't want to hurt anyone, especially a child who was only a few years old. Not long after, Su Junling found a rope from somewhere. Seeing this, Bai Li Xianye's gaze deepened. This little dumpling wants to strangle me. The mother gave a rescued white fox to her son to care for. The little boy, however, wanted to strangle it because the fox was vying for his mother's affection. Just as Su Junling found the rope and was about to act, Junling, what are you doing? Su Yitong, worried that the child wouldn't know how to care for a pet, had returned. The dark and demonic Su Junling immediately hid the rope and put on a bright smile. The surrounding black aura disappeared. Mother! Su Yitong looked at the little boy suspiciously. Junling, don't hide it. I saw it. What are you doing with that rope? Su Junling, with a soft, innocent, and naive face, said, I'm afraid the fox will bite its own wound, so I wanted to tie its mouth shut with the rope. Bai Li Xianyi was speechless. This little thing is two-faced. He clearly wanted to strangle me just now. Upon hearing this, Su Yitong thought, this little guy is quite thoughtful. Then, Mother will help you tie his mouth shut, okay? Su Junling smiled brightly and handed over the rope. Okay. Bai Li Xianyi, watching from the side, was shocked. He didn't know what he had done wrong to encounter this nemesis, Su Yitong. Su Yitong, how dare you? Before he could finish speaking, his mouth was already tied shut. Bai Li Xianyi was resigned to his fate. These mother and son are truly too much. Su Junling held the fox in his arms, looking as if he really liked it. Mother, don't worry. I will definitely take good care of the little fox. Seeing how much he liked the little fox, Su Yitong thought it would be all right to let him take care of it and agreed. Be good then, Su Yitong said, preparing to leave. Suddenly, Bai Li Xianyi, who was in her arms, struggled and jumped down. Su Yitong turned back in confusion. The little fox was clinging to her leg, his eyes sparkling as if he wanted her to take him with her. Su Yitong was charmed by the adorable fox. She asked the little fox, why don't you want me to leave? Bai Li Xianyi nodded, thinking, I can't let her son take care of me. That little devil will definitely kill me. Seeing the fox clinging to her leg, Su Yitong felt it was strange. Thinking it over, she realized Su Junling was currently in a dark state of mind. The little fox was rescued by her and was so cute. Leaving him alone with the blackening villain was indeed dangerous. Su Yitong picked up the fox. They say foxes are cunning, and they really are, she said. But since you're so cute, I'll allow you to stay with me for another day. Bai Li Xianyi furrowed his brow, but felt an inexplicable sense of relief. Although he also disliked Su Yitong, at least she wasn't as insane as her son, who wanted him dead. Mother, are you taking the little fox away? Su Junling asked, seeing his mother holding the fox again. He felt annoyed, but didn't show it. Su Yitong explained that she hadn't thought it through, that you're injured, so take care of yourself first. You can play with the little fox together after he recovers. Okay. Su Junling glared at the little fox. Okay, mother. He watched as Su Yitong left with the fox and clenched his fists. I wish mother was holding me, he thought, but I don't have the right to make her not keep a pet. I have to be very good and obedient so I don't make mother angry. I hate that little fox. That evening, in the general's manor, Su Jinxiong asked his daughter if she had gone to see Su Junling and if she still planned to bring him to the other courtyard. Su Yitong didn't deny, I teed Su Junling is my son. I wasn't thinking clearly before, that's why I treated him that way. I'll be good to him from now on. I'll bring him to live in the other courtyard in a few days. No, Su Jinxiong immediately objected. He thought about how ever since that demonic child was born, his daughter had been harmed, falling from grace and becoming a cripple. It had made their entire family a laughingstock. If it weren't for the fact that he was his daughter's son, he would have thrown him out of the manor long ago. I can agree to anything else, but you absolutely cannot take care of that demonic child, Su Jinxiong said. Su Yitong looked at him seriously. Father, Su Junling is not a demon. He is my son, your grandson. Seeing that she wouldn't listen, Su Jinxiong was furious. Anyway, you can forget about bringing him to the other courtyard. You cannot take care of that demonic child. Su Yitong was resolute. What if I insist? She asked, thinking that if she didn't intervene and allowed him to continue down his dark path, she would only become cannon fodder and die, unable to return home. Seeing that she was unyielding, Su Jinxiong declared that she could take care of Su Junling only when she was able to take over the military camp. Su Yitong frowned. In the book, Su Jinxiong held military power but had no heir. His second son was disabled, and his third son, whose foundation was damaged, had become effeminate. His only hope, the original Su Yitong, had also gone from a martial arts prodigy to a cripple. Making me take over the military camp is deliberately making things difficult for me, she thought. Father, don't you still have another son and a daughter? Why don't you let them take over? Su Jinxiong's face darkened. He reiterated that if she wanted to take care of Su Junling, she had to take over the military camp. He knew Su Yitong wouldn't agree. Ever since her meridians were destroyed, anything related to martial arts had become taboo for her. He didn't believe she would break this taboo for a demonic child who had ruined her chi. In her sleep, the woman hugged the fox like a pillow. She didn't know that this fox was her nemesis, Bai Li Xianyi. Just now, her father had made things difficult for the powerless Su Yitong, demanding she take over the military camp. She had still stubbornly accepted, only because she wanted to protect her son. Su Jinxiong hadn't expected his daughter to break her taboo for a demonic child. Angrily, he flung his sleeves and left. Back at the other courtyard, the first thing Su Yitong did was dismiss the maids who had bullied Su Junling. Influenced by the original Su Yitong, these maids had treated Su Junling poorly. She had to replace them. Upon hearing this, the maids knelt on the ground, trembling and begging Su Yitong not to dismiss them. Su Yitong was firm. You shouldn't have disobeyed my orders and harmed Su Junling. My mind is made up. Go to the butler and have him reassign you. After resolving the issue, Su Yitong collapsed onto the bed, exhausted. She hadn't expected so much to happen on her first day after transmigrating into the book. She had intended to familiarize herself with the rest of the story, but she fell asleep before she knew it. In the middle of the night, Bai Li Xianyi woke up cold. Opening his eyes, he found Su Yitong sleeping soundly beside him. He stared at her profile. They said Su Yitong was the most beautiful woman in the Tiandu kingdom. Looking closely, he found she was indeed quite attractive. He remembered when Su Yitong had pounced on him earlier that day, her lips brushing against his face. Bai Li Xian, he shook his head. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. He curled himself into a ball, but he was still cold. So he stealthily stretched out a paw and pulled the blanket a little closer. Much warmer now. Bai Li Xianyi was satisfied. Just then, Su Yitong, who was asleep, suddenly turned over, her hand naturally falling on Bai Li Xianyi. She mumbled in her sleep, "Don't move." Bai Li Xianyi instantly froze, not daring to budge. His cheeks flushed as he looked at Su Yitong beside him. This was the first time, while conscious, that he'd been this close to a woman. Aside from the accidental skin-to-skin contact with a woman 6 years ago, Bai Li Xianyi was now being held by Su Yitong. He was wondering when she would let go when he saw something he shouldn't have. He quickly closed his eyes, chanting internally, "See no evil, see no evil." The next day, Su Yitong woke up and opened her eyes to find the fox nestled in her arms, fast asleep. His paw was even resting on her chest. No wonder she felt something pressing on her during the night. She picked up the little fox by the scruff of his neck. "You lecherous fox, taking advantage of me just because you're cute." Bai Li Xianyi was tossed onto the floor. He woke up in a daze, unsure of what had happened. Turning his head, he witnessed a rather shocking scene. Su Yitong, in her undergarments, got out of bed to change clothes right in front of him. Bai Li Xianyi's face instantly flushed crimson, his blood rushing. Did Su Yitong have no sense of shame? Oblivious, she continued picking out her clothes. Bai Li Xianyi huddled to the side, blushing and closing his eyes to avoid looking. After getting ready, Su Yitong immediately went to find Su Junling. Su Junling was drawing water by the well. Hearing Su Yitong call him, he instinctively turned, "Mother." Su Yitong walked over to him and crouched down, asking what he was doing. Su Junling was happy to see his mother. He pointed to some clothes nearby, washing clothes. Su Yitong saw that these were the servants' clothes, and her face darkened. She took Su Junling's hand. "Don't do this anymore." As soon as his mother touched him, Su Junling pulled his hand back. "Mother, my hands are very cold. They'll chill you. And if I don't work for them, I won't get any food." Su Yitong felt a pang of heartache. She asked Su Junling, "Little one, have you ever been outside the general's manor?" Su Junling shook his head. "Then mother will take you out today. Let's go see the outside world, all right?" Su Junling frowned and said, "Mother, I can't go out. In the Tiandu kingdom, half-demons are even lower than demons. I'm the Su family's disgrace, so they don't let me go out and embarrass them." Su Yitong took his hand and started walking. "Nonsense. If I say you can, you can." The grandson of the general, yet confined within the manor for 5 years, constantly bullied and made to wash clothes for the servants. Today was the first time his mother had taken him out. Having never been outside before, Su Junling looked around, his eyes filled with curiosity and wonder. Su Yitong stopped at a candied hawthorn stall and asked Su Junling, "Little one, do you want a candy hawthorn?" Su Junling replied cautiously, "Can I have one?" "Of course you can. Anything you want to eat today, mother will buy it for you." As she spoke, Su Yitong had already bought a candied hawthorn and handed it to Su Junling. He stared at the candied hawthorn in his hand. It looked delicious, but it was the first thing his mother had ever bought him. He wanted to treasure it. Seeing him hesitate, Su Yitong saw through his thoughts and urged him, "Eat it quickly. There are plenty more." Su Junling finally took a bite. The candied hawthorn was sweet and sour, very delicious. He had never tasted anything so good. Su Junling was bubbling with happiness. Along the way, Su Yitong bought him a little of every delicious treat she saw. Then she noticed a pink mist surrounding Su Junling. The system prompt. Pink mist indicates that Su Junling is in a good mood. Su Yitong thought to herself, although his darkness level hadn't decreased, the little one was happy, which meant some progress on the mission. An hour later, the two, tired from shopping, were resting at a tea house. Su Junling looked at the piles of gifts, stacked higher than himself. "These are all gifts from Mother. Mother is so good." He turned to look at Su Yitong, "Mother." Just then, Su Yitong happened to see the menacing fifth prince, Xian Yuan Yi, standing before them. Xian Yuan Yi pointed at Su Junling and scolded Su Yitong. "Have you lost your mind? How dare you parade this little bastard around in public? Are you not satisfied with how bad your reputation already is?" Suddenly, Xian Yuan Yi's tone shifted, assuming Su Yitong still pined for him, "Or are you deliberately bringing him out to apologize to me?" "Very clever of you, Su Yitong. Fine, I'll grant you this favor. I'll break his legs right in front of you." Hearing this, the smile vanished from Su Junling's face, a dark aura faintly emanating from him. "Mother brought me out to hand me over to this villain and have my legs broken. What's the rush, fifth prince? Sit down and have some tea first." Su Yitong calmly poured Xian Yuani a cup of tea and pushed it towards him. "What? Are you afraid I poisoned it?" Xian Yuani scoffed. "What is this place afraid of?" After finishing his tea, seeing Su Yitong's agreeable attitude, he assumed she was genuinely apologizing. Su Yitong, "This place has already drunk the tea you poured. You didn't stop me, which means you're happy to hand this little beast over to me to deal with." He then ordered his servants to break Su Junling's legs in public. Mid-sentence, he felt his stomach churning. Clutching his belly, he questioned Su Yitong. What did you put in my tea? Su Yitong, with a calm expression, replied, Fifth Prince, what are you talking about? We drank the same tea. There's nothing wrong with it. Xian Yuan Yi, too preoccupied to confront her, clutched his stomach and headed for the latrine. Before leaving, he ordered his servants to detain Su Yitong and that little bastard. Su Yitong blocked his path. Fifth Prince, why is your face so pale? Could it be that you were bitten by a dog yesterday and contracted rabies? Xian Yuan Yi's face darkened. Su Yitong, don't slander me. I just have a stomachache and need to use the latrine. Before finishing his sentence, he couldn't help but let out a few farts. Su Junling, pinching his nose with a look of disgust, said, Mother, why are his farts stinkier than our big black dogs? Is he farting dog farts? Everyone present stifled their laughter. Su Yitong, seeing an opportunity to escape, said, Fifth Prince, you should hurry. Don't soil your pants. With a plop, the fifth prince fell to the ground, ultimately unable to hold back. Everyone quickly dispersed. The heavenly prince not only farted in public, but also soiled himself. Utterly humiliated, Xian Yuani flew into a rage. Su Yitong, I'll kill you. Someone seize them. Su Yitong reached out to Su Junling. Little one, hold on to me. Let's run. Mother and son then took off running. After they had run far away, Xian Yuanyi's furious shouts could be heard from behind. Su Yitong, I will not rest until I have my revenge. Su Junling laughed heartily. At that moment, the system notified. Su Junling's blackening value decreased by 2%. Su Yitong, upon seeing this, thought, finally it's decreased. This is a good sign. A woman had previously picked up a white tiger without realizing he was the eldest son of the prime minister's family. Faced with the disappearance of Bai Li Xianyi for many days, Prime Minister Bai Li Bowen personally went to the general's residence to look for his son. The general, believing the prime minister was looking for trouble, stopped him outside the residence and angrily scolded old man Bai Li. I've told you countless times, my general's residence doesn't have your son. Do you not understand human language? Even if every other man in the world were dead, my daughter wouldn't take a liking to your son, let alone hide him. The prime minister's face also darkened. Is that so? Your daughter publicly molesting my son is a fact. Many people saw it. The two were at daggers drawn. Meanwhile, the general ordered his men to drive the prime minister away. The prime minister ordered his servants to break down the general's residence gates. Just as the two were about to start fighting, Su Yitong, holding a fox, arrived and stopped them. She said she hadn't hidden his son. The prime minister's gaze fell upon Bai Li Xianyi in Su Yitong's arms, his expression complex. Father and son exchanged glances. The prime minister now understood the situation. Su Yitong, not noticing his gaze, continued, to prove my innocence, I can let the prime minister search the residence. If you don't find him, you must publicly apologize to our family in the streets. The prime minister carefully observed the young woman before him, feeling that she truly resembled his deceased wife. The general, seeing Bai Li Bowen looking at his daughter, immediately punched the prime minister. Old man, if you look at my daughter like that again, I'll kill you. Su Jinxiong and Bai Li Bowen immediately began a brawl. Su Yitong and Bai Li Xianyi, looking at their childish fathers, were speechless. After the fight, Bai Li Bowen, now certain his son was safe, said it must have been a misunderstanding and that he wouldn't bother searching the residence. He also said it was time for him to attend court. With that, he turned and left. Su Jinxiong cursed angrily. That old fool deliberately wasted my time, so I'd be late for court. At court, the emperor started stirring things up. He said he'd recently heard rumors that young master Bai Li and the eldest daughter of the Su family were deeply in love, a perfect match. Su Jinxiong and Bai Li Bowen found this absurd. Their families had always been at odds. It was a wonder they didn't attack each other on sight, let alone be in love. Their stances were unusually aligned as they both rushed to deny the rumor. Your Majesty, my daughter and young master Bai Li are not close at all. Yes, they have no interaction whatsoever. The emperor asked, Minister Bai Li, your son did go to the Su residence of his own accord, correct? Minister Su, your daughter did publicly throw herself at young master Bai Li, correct? Su Jinxiong and Bai Li Bowen gritted their teeth. Why, yes, your Majesty. The emperor chuckled. I've also heard that this morning, Minister Bai Li went to the Su residence to propose marriage. The two men's heads dropped with a resounding thud. Who in the world is spreading these rumors? The emperor chuckled. Seeing as your children are of similar age and clearly fond of each other, I shall act as matchmaker and bestow upon them a marriage. Let the imperial astronomer choose an auspicious date for the wedding. Then I, too, can enjoy the festivities. Su Jinxiong and Bai Li Bowen felt as if they'd been struck by lightning. As soon as court was adjourned, Su Jinxiong took his daughter's hand and asked if she had anyone she liked. He said if she just gave him a name, he'd kidnap him tonight and get clarification. How about Minister Lu's eldest son? Or Minister Hu's second son? Or what about the fifth prince? Don't you like the fifth prince? Dad will knock him unconscious tonight and throw him on your bed. Su Yitong, seeing her father ask this, wondered what had happened. Su Jinxiong sighed. The emperor has betrothed you to Bai Li Xianyi. Upon hearing about this marriage, both Su Yitong and Bai Li Xianyi were completely stunned. The young woman was betrothed by the emperor to her sworn enemy. Little did she know, her future husband, transformed into a fox, was lying right beside her. One person, one fox. Hearing about the betrothal, both were very calm. Su Yitong remembered that in the novel, when the emperor decreed the marriage, Su Yitong's father defied the imperial edict. The emperor used this incident to seize 100,000 troops from Su Jinxiong's command. The Bai Li family also spent a considerable amount of money to replenish the imperial treasury to quell the matter. Su Yitong didn't want to implicate her family because of this. She told her father not to defy the imperial edict, otherwise he would be punished by the emperor. At this moment, the system prompted that Su Junling had received paternal love, which could alleviate his darkening state. Because the system prompt was so timely, Su Yitong began to suspect that Bai Li Xianyi was Su Junling's biological father. Moreover, the book mentioned that the man who had relations with Su Yitong had a birthmark on his chest. It also seemed to vaguely mention that Bai Li Xianyi had a birthmark. The more she thought about it, the more certain she became. Furthermore, Su Junling's darkness level hadn't decreased much today. Perhaps he still needed paternal love. So, she told Su Jinxiong that she wanted to marry Bai Li Xianyi. Su Jinxiong was shocked. Daughter, what are you saying? The Bai Li family is a fiery pit of vipers. That Bai Li brat is notoriously cunning and wicked. All the wives he's had before have died. That scoundrel is a jinx. Whoever encounters him suffers misfortune. Bai Li Xianyi, listening in, was utterly bewildered. How is he cunning? How is he wicked? How is he a jinx? Those women died of their own accord. What did it have to do with him? To convince her father, Su Yitong put on a shy expression that I actually like Bai Li Xianyi. Bai Li Xianyi was completely dumbfounded. What was this woman saying? Su Jinxiong also couldn't understand how his daughter could have fallen for that boy. Tang Tang, my precious daughter, how could you be so foolish? What's so good about that, Bai Li Xianyi? Of all the people you could like, why him? Su Yitong thought for a moment that he's handsome. He has a nice voice, and his figure is quite good too. Su Yitong hugged Su Jinxiong's arm and acted coquettishly. Father, you're the most handsome and the best man in the world, but I just like Bai Li Xianyi, and I might be pregnant with a child. Su Jinxiong's hair stood on end in anger. Su Yitong, are you trying to anger me to death? Su Yitong immediately threw herself at her father's feet. It's all my fault. Why don't you hit me? If you're angry enough, you can even beat me to death. At this, Bai Li Xianyi, who was listening nearby, couldn't sit still any longer. He was completely innocent with Su Yitong. He couldn't understand why she would say such a thing. He looked up and just happened to see Su Yitong's triumphant smile. He understood at once. Su Yitong was deliberately lying. He couldn't guess her motive, nor did he know how his own father would react. He needed to find a chance to return to his human form. Fortunately, his injuries were healing well, and he would be able to transform back tonight. He made up his mind, his gaze resolute. Once I recover, I definitely. Suddenly, he felt his body lifted into the air. Su Yitong had scooped up the little fox, intending to see Su Junling finally calm my father down. Little fox, let's go. On the way, they heard a maid's insulting voice. Little bastard, you really think you're the young master, huh? Su Junling's whole body was radiating a dark aura. His head hung low, his expression unreadable. Su Yitong frowned. She wanted to see who was so blind as to dare to trouble her son. The young miss is about to marry into the Bai Li family. She won't be taking you with her. Then you'll still be that pitiful wretch anyone can trample on. The speaker was Chui'er, the maid who had been punished earlier. Su Junling clenched his fists and retorted loudly. Mother said she wouldn't leave me. Chui'er seemed to be listening to a joke. Ha, little bastard, what are you thinking? You actually believe the young Mrs. Childish Hongpan. Forget about you. even the general can't stay by her side. Su Junling's heart wavered. She was right. Even General Su couldn't stay with his mother. He definitely couldn't stay by his mother's side either. Chue continued, after your mother marries into the Bailey family, she might even have her own children. Su Junling remained silent, images of his mother being intimate with other people flashing through his mind. Seeing him like this, Chue became even more smug. Then you'll be completely forgotten. Your mother won't even look at you again. Shut up. Su Junling suddenly lunged at Chue. Chue was clearly startled. You little beast. Su Junling stared at Chue with hawk-like eyes. If you were dead, I wouldn't have to hear these heartbreaking words anymore. Against her family's objections, the woman insisted on marrying the half-demon, thinking this would lessen Su Junling's descent into darkness. Little did she know that this was only the beginning of her troubles. At this moment, the woman held the fox, relieved that she had calmed Su Junling down. The next second, unbearable obscenities reached her ears. Furious at the insults directed at Su Junling, she turned around to see who was responsible. Black mist swirled around Su Junling. Su Yitong angrily demanded to know who was so blind as to bother her son. Meanwhile, the maid and Su Junling were still arguing. The maid was arrogant and domineering. The young miss is about to marry into the Bailey family. She won't take you with her. Then you'll be nothing but a pitiful wretch anyone can trample on. Su Junling retorted, Mother said she wouldn't leave us. The maid laughed at his words. Continuing to add insult to injury, she laughed. Ha, you little bastard, what are you thinking? You actually believe the lies she tells to Gong Xiao Haizhe, Hong Xiao Haizhe. Let alone you. Even the general can't stay by her side. Su Junling sank into despondent thought. She was right. Even General Su couldn't stay with his mother. He definitely couldn't stay by her side either. Maybe later, your mother will have her own children. The maid continued to taunt. Then, maybe you'll be completely forgotten. Your mother won't even look at you again. Stabbed by her words again and again, Su Junling lunged at the maid. Her calling him a little beast enraged him further. His face expressionless, he said coldly, if you were dead, I wouldn't have to hear these heartbreaking words anymore. Anyone who speaks ill of mother is a bad person. He walked towards the maid, a large axe in his hand, muttering, bad people deserve to die. The maid, completely oblivious to Su Junling's darkened expression, said, you little brat, how dare you push me? I'll beat you to death. She then swung at Su Junling. Her hand was stopped midair. Su Yitong forcefully slapped the maid. The maid was instantly terrified. She stammered, young miss, I just came to supervise his work. I didn't say anything. The intelligent and beautiful Su Yitong wouldn't believe her lies. She reassured Su Junling, even if mother marries, she will take you with me. She then ordered the maid to pack her things and leave the general's manor. Turning, she took her adorable son and swept away. Su Junling, do you want a father or not? Just say the word, and I'll bring you one later. Su Junling stood frozen, his eyes filled with longing and envy. Memories flooded back. As a child, he envied others for having fathers, while he was scorned and rejected because his father was a demon, a shameful monster. Su Junling looked at Su Yitong with anticipation. Mother, if you marry, will I have a father? Su Yitong answered affirmatively, yes. Then there will be one more person who loves our little Junling. Su Junling whispered, I just want mother to love me. He then pointed to the little fox in the corner. Mother, can I play with the little fox? The fox thought, go to hell. I won't survive in your hands. Su Yitong picked up the struggling fox and handed it to Su Junling. The little fox is still injured. You must take good care of her. As night fell, as soon as the little fox lay down, Su Junling's sinister side emerged. Little fox, you're not being good. Why haven't you left? You're still trying to steal my mother. I hate you. He covered the fox's mouth, his eyes gleaming to don't move. It won't hurt. It'll be over soon. The little fox's eyes darted towards a knife in the corner. This little devil is going to kill me. It quickly broke free and escaped over the wall. Su Junling was in an excellent mood, his face beaming. Little fox, I hope you never come back. Meanwhile, at the Bai Li residence, they were still worrying about Bai Li Xian Ye's continued absence. The next second, he appeared before them as if by magic. Old man Bai Li told him to continue hiding and that he would petition the emperor to cancel the engagement tomorrow. But our scheming male lead wasn't happy with this plan. He declared his intention to marry Su Yitong. The woman, determined to find out who Su Junling's father was, insisted on marrying Bai Li Xianyi. The original novel mentioned that the male lead had a birthmark on his chest, and Bai Li Xianyi happened to have one too. Meanwhile, Bali Xianyi, having just transformed into his human form, announced his intention to marry Su Yitong as soon as he returned to the residence. Even his own father was suspicious. Every woman he had previously suggested had died mysteriously on their wedding night. This time, he was being so proactive. Could he actually be in love with Su Yitong? Bali Xianyi explained that defying the imperial edict would be too costly. It would be better to go with the flow and use this opportunity to infiltrate and destroy the Su family from within. Old man Bai Li enthusiastically agreed, saying it was an excellent plan. However, he cautioned, you must keep your ability to transform a secret. In the blink of an eye, the man was bathing naked. The moment he touched his wand, his mind was filled with Su Yitong. He missed her captivating eyes and her sexy cherry lips, the warmth in his arms. What's wrong with me? It's all Su Yitong. She's practically haunting me. The next day, the emperor, for the sake of the marriage alliance between the Su and Bai Li families, summoned the royal astrologer to choose an auspicious date. After a single glance at each other, the two fathers simultaneously expressed their gratitude for the emperor's grace. Seeing his scheme had failed, the emperor could only let them fight amongst themselves, choosing to watch from the sidelines. The day before the wedding, the Su residence was bustling with activity. The servants gossiped about every detail. An unwed mother, and she still gets to marry into the Bai Li family. Young Master Bai Li has had several wives already, and they all died. His reputation isn't exactly stellar either. These two are a perfect match. Inside the room, Su Yitong listened to the servants' taunts, unfazed. She acknowledged the truth in their words. Right now, I just want to find a chance to confirm if Bai Li Xianyi is Su Junling's father. Nothing else matters to me. The venomous best friend's retribution had finally arrived. The woman successfully made her best friend suffer the consequences of her own actions. Tonight was supposed to be the woman's wedding night. Her best friend, under the guise of saving her, invited her to the woods to meet the fifth prince, claiming he would help her escape this predicament. As a transmigrated heroine familiar with the story, Su Yitong naturally knew what her best friend was planning. Taking her best friend's hand, she feigned innocence. You said the fifth prince still likes me? Does that mean he'll marry me? The scheming best friend insisted that if she went with the fifth prince tonight, he would definitely marry her. Inwardly, she was desperate for Su Yitong to take the bait. Fool, you have a fiancé and you still want to run off with someone else? This time you're finished. Su Yitong deliberately tightened her grip on her scheming friend, pretending to be impatient. She declared that she was about to become a princess and didn't need to bring anything. So the three of them met at the prearranged location. The fifth prince, to maintain his princely dignity, started by saying he was of noble birth. If he were to take her away directly, being seen would damage his reputation. He asked Su Yitong to swim across the river. He also suggested Su Yitong remove her outer robe to avoid hindering her swimming speed. The venomous best friend enthusiastically agreed, already relishing the thought of Bai Li Xianyi seeing Su Yitong undressed. Even with 100 mouths, he wouldn't be able to explain himself. Su Yitong thought, do you two really think I'm a fool? While verbally expressing disagreement with the fifth prince's thoughtful suggestion, she strategically stepped back. Then, with a swift kick, the fifth prince was sent tumbling into the river. She then grabbed the venomous best friend and with a spin, without a doubt, both of them ended up in the water, enacting a scene of star-crossed lovers frolicking in the river. At this moment, Su Fu, thinking his daughter was being bullied, rushed over, declaring, "Don't worry, Daddy's here." He then looked at the fifth prince in the river with a bewildered expression. Su Yitong explained, the fifth prince and second Misia are having a passionate water fight. This woman is so vicious. To ruin her best friend's reputation, she colluded with the fifth prince to persuade me to elope so that Bai Li Xianyi would break off the engagement. Unbeknownst to them, Su Yitong never intended to elope. She stated she was just there to watch the fun. After all, the person I love most is Bai Li Xianyi. I'm still waiting to be his bride. Faced with this sudden confession, Bai Li Xianyi blushed. The onlookers murmured, wasn't Su Yitong supposed to elope? How did it turn into a confession to our young master? Hearing the commotion, Su Yitong turned around, thinking, oh no, Bai Li Xianyi must have heard everything. Bai Li's second brother chimed in, oh, you're here to watch the show too? Why are so many people interested in watching the fifth prince take a bath? Su Fu awkwardly explained, well, the fifth prince is unconventional. He's taking on Yang Yu. Meanwhile, in the lake, the fifth prince cursed while holding the scheming best friend in his arms. He falsely accused Su Yitong of inviting him out and tried to seduce him into taking her away from the capital. Such a shameless woman. Even if young Master Bai Li doesn't marry her, he'll lose face. Su Yitong couldn't help but chuckle. Bai Xian looked at Su Yitong and asked trustingly, "Is that true? If she was trying to seduce you, why are you in the water?" Su Yitong was stunned. Why would Bai Xian say such a thing? Was he actually helping her? Her scheming best friend, completely ignoring everyone else, clung tightly to the fifth prince, declaring her desire to continue exploring the mysteries of life with him, and if possible, on a much deeper level. The onlookers on the shore were stunned by this bold display of affection. Honestly, Su Yitong had never been so speechless in her 18 years. "I used to like you. That was me being blind. You two didn't have to go through all this trouble to lure me out here. You even deliberately put on this lovey-dovey show in the water to make me give up." Then her gaze drifted towards Bai Xian. "I'm getting married tomorrow. Please don't invite me out to watch your performances anymore." It was quite cold at night. The two in the lake seemed not to have heard her. They continued their entangled embrace. Seeing this, the others could only say, "Since the fifth prince and second Miss Xia still have important matters to attend to, we won't disturb you." Liang Lao Air couldn't resist adding, "Second Master Su, the fifth prince, the wind is strong by the lake. You should take it easy. Don't throw your back out." Bai Lao Air chimed in, "Fifth prince, it's freezing. Even if exercise generates heat, you should still keep warm." With that, the group turned and left, leaving the two in the lake. The fifth prince was furious. "Weren't you all here to catch Su Yitong eloping? How the hell did I become the center of attention? This isn't what you think at all."